just to say, it's not. I also welcome back, everybody. I don't know why I'm about to go into something as if I didn't press start in the video, but first of all, welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit the notification button to be notified when I post new videos. Now, what I was about to get into is my friend said she was expecting me to talk about the game as I play. Now, the reason why, one, I already played the game, and two, it's hard to explain, right? So I usually talk about stuff. I usually focus on the game when I make videos, but then I'd be like, dang. And sometimes things will come up and I can't finish editing them, and I regret, doing all this and then can't post the video. I do this mainly for fun. Also, because I do have a few people that enjoy me doing it. And I mean, why not? I mean, the more publicity and fan base I build up for myself, the better off I'll be when I finally release my show series when the time comes, and more projects I'm going to be making down the way. So, I still do this for that purpose. And it's like, I'll talk about the game and then it can't post. Well, if I talk about the stuff I want to talk about, which I love doing anyway, but I never want to just sit down and do a podcast about it, which I guess I would be doing. Technically, I am doing anyway. I mean, it's not like I'm playing when I'm talking. So I guess I should, but I know viewers will probably watch this faster than just straight podcast of me talking. I'm not like an anime YouTube channel. So even if I posted something like that and it looks exactly like theirs, the likelihood of people coming to mine first would be slim. Now, should I try that? I am going to do that with a project I'm working on that I'm halfway through. So be looking forward for that. And I'm a gamer, man. This channel started with me playing games. I mean, granted, it was Smash Brothers, and I need to start back posting those. But at the end of the day, I'm a gamer. So I'm going to be playing games. So why not talk while I'm playing the games? I mean, that's literally how every Minecraft channel started. They didn't talk about Minecraft aside for the things that's going on. So, I mean, I'll be sprinkling in some stuff as I'm playing this. I will, but I'll put it like this. I know which part is coming up soon during this whole little, I call it, I mean, it's actually got a name in the story about the arc, but I like to call it the, I don't know. I used to have a name for it. I can't remember what I used to call it all the time when I was playing it back in the day. I forgot. I think it's, I used to call it the Magikarp arc. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Magikarp arc. Because the dude I end up fighting in this, at the end of this arc, is basically, he's supposed to call himself a dragon, but he's basically a wuss man. Because the fact he's trying to fight me, right? My character, the man I'm playing as, the fact he's trying to fight me, he's mad because he set me up and this and that, everything going on. So when he fought my dude, I don't want to really spoil too much for the people that haven't played the game because you're going to see it. But just put it like this, okay? Because it's hard to explain it while spoiling it. What this character does is just straight demon time in terms of how he got back at this man for being basically the worst dude, one of the worst dudes in this whole game. This whole one, not in the whole Yakuza series, because some Joker's worse than him. But this right here was bad. And he got back at him. And I love how Boss Man, the real Boss Man of this, respects the other homie for what he did. And I'm so glad the other two weren't as bad as him. I thought it was going to be like a 3v1 when I very first time playing this, and it wasn't. So that was all good. That was all good. But yeah, I'll talk more when I get to that. So I'm going to cut myself here so I can get into the talking them segments. And I'll definitely get back to it when I get back to it. Continuing on from what I said we're going to do the last podcast, is I'm going to continue talking about Dragon Ball, but I'm definitely going to do some other ones for sure. But right now I'm going to continue on with Dragon Ball, but it's not going to be the whole thing. Maybe, maybe not. But the reason why I'm continuing on, because I would like to look at the power struggle, right, that's going on right now. And a lot of people like to talk about the God Forms, and I'm going to get on to universes being wished back and Black Frieza and stuff. But I just want to talk about this. People talk about the God Forms and the way things are and how basically they set this whole thing up with Goku and Vegeta getting in God Forms. And basically Jokers like Gohan, Broly, Jiren, Jokers with no God keys to pass them. Can't sense them, but I mean, obviously there's a way to sense the amount of pressure coming from somebody, whether it's key or not, from the understanding that's been going on. But we have to really understand, look at this from a deep, deep root. Now knowing everything that we know now, like back in the day during the Boo saga, then yes, you couldn't really say all this stuff because we were going off a head canon. There was no other higher power aside from the Kais. But now knowing everything we know now, we can put it all together. When Supreme Kai first came down, just follow with me now. Supreme Kai first came down. Remember when he showed up at the tournament? Piccolo is supposed to be, I don't really know too much about how the Namekians ties in with gods, but apparently they are inherent species with something dealing with gods because of everything we've been seeing. They're making Dragon Balls, they're doing this and that. They got magical powers, they can just wish clothes on. So I'm just gonna call them a semi-god or a demigod race. How the Saiyans are like an ultimate warrior race that gets stronger after battles. Frieza race is inherently OP from birth. Even though Frieza is a prodigy, their whole race is still that way from birth. So, putting it like it is, even though your boy wasn't a Namekian, he was fused. Your boy literally sensed your boy, and he said, can't really sense his energy, but something about this man, he's above me. He said that. And not the words I said, but he basically said those words. And he literally forfeited a fight. Now, yes, people can take it as he forfeited because he realized he was a god and didn't want to fight him. Because at that point, Super Saiyan 2 Goku was already stronger than him. But you can sense that maybe Piccolo was stronger than him but didn't want to fight him because he was a kami. Or Piccolo wasn't stronger than him and realized he was a god. You can look at it a bunch of ways. But the fact that the bottom line is that apparently God Ki can't be surpassed by mortals. God Ki is like a basic key that is superior to most keys. But at the same time, a normal mortal can pass a being that was born with God Ki, like basically a god. Because I'm just going to flat out say Piccolo was already surpassed of that Supreme Kai that came. Even if he wasn't, he was able to sense him or have some recognition of he's a higher being than them. At the same time, you can look at it this way. Majin Buu was able to, Bibbidi or Bobbidi, was able to make, even though Majin Buu was a Majin before he got turned into what he was, or controlled whatever happened, regardless, that Majin Buu was able to surpass Kais and absorb them and beat them, and then got way more powerful. So he was already surpassed them. Even, I forgot the name, Dabara, whoever that dude was, the dude that looks like Jinbei, basically another demon, even he, now, of course, he was a demon, so he might have had his own, like, demon key or something, or his own god key since he was a demon. But the fact is, even he was more powerful than the Kais. So, the fact that it was already beings superior to Kais anyway, as we can see later on in Dragon Ball, it's not just Goku and Vegeta God form to get surpassed. Even someone like Jiren, who doesn't even have God Ki, is able to surpass his God Destruction. Basically, what it comes down to is God Ki is like this supreme. God Ki is like a version up to Kaioken. Kaioken can boost someone way farther than the normal things by multiplying higher and higher, depending on how many numbers of multiplication you go up with Kaioken. But because you're not a god being, the strain on your body will ultimately be too much. Goku has trained himself to become more resilient to it. Even he still has drawbacks, but he don't work himself up. Adding that on top of God Ki is more dangerous because at the end of the day, he's still immortal. He hasn't surpassed being immortal. He will have to either die or some type of thing or wish, or however way Beerus became a divine being outside of a mortal. However way it works, he will have to get to that point for him to be able to use God Ki and Kaioken without no mortal restrictions. You have to remember now, Goku and Vegeta are still mortals, so it's only natural. Of course, another mortal can surpass their God Ki. It's not like they are gods. They are mortals using God forms, God Ki, God moves, and so on. So when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, God Ki is more like a advanced version of Kaioken. It's a huge multiplier that not many mortals can even learn, period. And even if a mortal surpasses another mortal with God Ki, there's advantages with God Ki that those mortals would not have, even if they're stronger. Like the way Goku's able to restart Roshi's heart. Yes, I know you could say that anybody can do that. Goku was able to give energy to Frieza, so back on Namek, so he wouldn't die. But Frieza was also an alien too. So Frieza genetics allows him to survive being chopped up and stuff. So all Goku did was give him enough to keep him alive, probably survive the planet or to escape the planet because he was already drained. Goku was using God Ki to try to start Roshi's heart. I think he used the Super Saiyan God Ki. And then when he ultimately revived him, he switched to Super Saiyan Blue God Ki. So the fact of the matter is he was able to use God binding the whole Broly. Now, yes, Broly was able to swap the technique back on him, but you have to remember, it's not like Broly learned the technique. He took Goku's technique, and since they were linked, he just took over it. It's almost like how that Frieza can't use Hakai, but when that dude threw a Hakai at him that the other god of destruction gave him, Frieza was able to hold it in his hand. So it's not like it's something that a normal mortal is impossible. They can somehow control it, or they can somehow manage to survive it or even surpass it. But unless they actually know God Ki or have God Ki, they wouldn't be able to use the exact same techniques. A normal mortal, any living being can use Ultra Instinct. It's an angel ability that happens with mastery of experience and innate instinct. Master Roshi in the manga was using a very, 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 very basic version of it. Even we stated it, and that helped Goku unlock it. And animated didn't show it much. But the fact is, even Whis explained, you have to make your own version of Ocean Instinct because he was using that angel. He was trying to master angel version, which is one above God Ki that he even has as of right now. Just like how Vegeta will eventually have to make his own version of Ultra Ego because eventually it would be, he's using a destruction technique, which is not fit for his body. He has to adapt it for his body. Whereas right now, there's no drawbacks. He just got to it. But same what happened with Goku and determining power, same what have to ultimately happen to Vegeta. They're both using techniques that were not made for mortals. So even though they implied that adapting it to their Saiyan heritage is not directly made for mortals, it's just because Saiyans are able to go gods or able to learn God Ki, they can kind of adapt it. But even so, it's like a monkey using a firearm. A monkey would not be able to use that the same way a human would, unless that monkey somehow finds a way to make it something that they're more adapt to. Monkey hearings are better than ours, so to keep using it repetitively would damage them way better than it would damage our ears. So it's kind of in that sense. So when you see beings like Frieza surpassing the God forms or matching it, or you see Jiren surpassing it, which is raw talent and skill, or Dispo matching it in speed, stuff like that, or hit, you have to remember that they're going farther than their mortal bodies by using God Ki. So it's hard for them to get strong enough to match somebody in terms of longevity matches. And if their power levels are around equal, just like with Broly, then the God Ki form, every time they go in it, it's even stated for each time they go in it, it decreases in each time they go into it. So even though their God Ki form is still going to be stronger than their base, each time they go into it, it decreases in strength until eventually it's going to get to a point where they rather off to just stay in base. Now, they don't learn how to use God Ki in base also, but it's at a basic level, so it's not really hurting them so much. It's almost like total breathing concentration. When Tanjiro and them were learning it, the strain of using it and stuff was too much on them, but now they know how to use it at a base level all the time, so it's not really a strain on them, more or less like carrying a heavy backpack. But at a certain point, of course, your body can get used to it. It's like how Rock Lee is with those weights. But of course, to fully use it, like when Tanjiro was using Himokami Kagura, he kept feeling the drawbacks of it because it's a harder and more advanced technique that his body wasn't suited for, at least not as of right that second of him using it. So that's basically what it comes down to, why God Ki can be surpassed by mortal Ki or any other being that does not have God Ki. This is how I see it. And to put it in perspective, for Piccolo, with Orange Piccolo, I do not believe Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo are more powerful than the Goku and Vegeta right before Frieza knocked them out. I don't believe they're more powerful than them. But going by what we've read, it could be possible, and most likely possible, that they are definitely more powerful than them in terms of power, and might be more powerful than them during the Mom, or it's likely possible that it's what they're referring to. Even though they want it to seem like it's during the whole Granola arc, I doubt it because they haven't really seen them much, unless I'm forgetting something. So I don't believe they're more powerful than True Ultra Instinct and Ultra Ego, but I'm pretty sure they are more powerful than them during the Mora arc. If not, they're matching Goku when he put out the Sasano. So, and Piccolo is, like I said, a Namekian, which has an inherent formula for God Ki, because I mean, a Namekian made it through Dragon Ball, so that Namekian is more powerful than Zeno. And then we have Gohan, which is a hybrid, and humans have the most potential out of every race because of their adaptability. That's why Roshi and Krillin and sometimes Tien can still hang with the dogs, even though they're humans. At the same time, because they're humans, their mortal bodies is at the lowest of the low of all the other races. So when you combine two races, like a Namekian human hybrid would probably be way more powerful than a Saiyan hybrid, because Namekians can fuse naturally, they can regen if they're humans still able to, and they are, like I said, not even if the whole race not, we know their race can give birth to someone more powerful than Zeno. And the Frieza race is inherently more powerful naturally. So give a Frieza, I'm just gonna say a Frost race, give them to a hybrid to a human. And I mean, they gonna just be terrifying. Just way terrifying. So it's not all impossible that a hybrid Saiyan, especially a half and half hybrid, not a quarter hybrid, because I'm not sure if the more half and half they get, the more powerful they are. I'm pretty sure Goten potential is less than Gohan's. And you can also see it by the pattern. The less of a Saiyan they are, the less they want to fight. Think about it. Gohan was still wanting to fight all the way up in his teens. Up until, well, I say wanting to fight, he had more like fighting spirit all the way up into his teens. Right after the Cell arc, he lost it. Even now, he still kind of got it. Where Goten had it the whole time when he was a kid. And from the Dragon Ball Super movie, apparently they have been fighting for so long, they forgot how to do the fusion, the thing they love doing the most. And they're like in their teens now. They should be around the same age Gohan was when he fought Cell. So I'm just saying, so apparently the less and less you are Saiyan, the less fighting spirit you have, which in return will make you weaker overall. But no matter how much potential you have, you don't want to use it, you're not going to use it. So I'm pretty sure the more half and half you are, the worse. Pan was the one exception, but that was during GT, so we're not even sure if that's canon. And I can't even say that. I say exception. Exception goes as far as she didn't lose her fighting spirit. And I think she was a little bit older than Gohan during the Cell arc, at least by the end of the series. And if not, she was around the same age, and she didn't show any signs of not wanting to fight. Even though I don't really recall her going Super Saiyan, but her fighting spirit was still there. So that part of it still stands, but again, it's not, we don't know if it's canon or not. So, and then it just makes sense overall why they're more powerful than God Ki and God Forms, why mortals can't surpass them. Now let me get into what I think about the whole 17 bringing back all the universes that was wiped by Zeno. Now, I do believe that when he made that wish, that when he said, I wish for all the universes that has been wiped to come back, that wish literally and technically applies to the ones he wiped. He didn't say during the tournament. He didn't say just now. He didn't name the number of universes. He literally said all that were wiped, which means every universe Zeno has wiped. That includes the 6 he wiped beforehand, which means they were brought back. Now, they said Zeno wiped them on a whim. And as of right this second, even though everybody talks about Zeno as if he might do so, how do we really know that I'm not speaking right now. How do we not know that dang it. I'm about to clip this out. How do we not know that the image of Zeno being that type that would just wipe out a universe on a whim did not come from the act of wiping 6 universes at the same, like wiping 6 universes in the past? He might not have always had the title of he might wipe anything out on a whim. He does what he please. Maybe before that, he was just regular. Everybody felt him out of respect and knowing he was more powerful, but not of the fact he might just do it out of whim. So, if that's the case, if you look at destroyers, they don't just go destroy him for no reason. Champa did because he was upset. All of it happened for a reason, not just out of a whim. I do believe Zeno wiped the other 6 universes because of something that was going on in those universes. You have to think and remember what he said, what Grand Prix said on the tournament. Because Zeno, that means Zeno could think. He said that Zeno was going to wipe any universe that made a selfish wish when they won and did not bring the other universes back, which means Zeno does not tolerate evilness to a degree. Like, evil is going to be is a yin and yang, but he does not tolerate a certain level of evilness. You go past a certain threshold, and then that's when you get cut off. Like when Zamasu, Goku called Zamasu, and if you think about the personality of Zeno that Goku called, compared to Zeno as we always see him, here's my theory, right? I believe when Goku called Zeno, the white Zamasu, I can't say his name right now, so I'm just gonna say Fuse Goku Black. It's Zumasu. There we go. That Zeno have not wiped the 6 universes in that timeline. If there's 2 Army Kings, I mean, it's 2 separate universes. That's even stated to be that case inside of Dragon Ball Heroes. Even though it's not canon, a whole bunch of that stuff, pretty much until proven otherwise, we could take as canon right now. Because everything in there is going by the logic that Dragon Ball has been setting up over the years in their canon series. So going by that method and that method alone, how that Zeno was a lot more, let's say, level-headed, less carefree than the Zeno we're used to seeing. So that means that Zeno probably did not wipe the universes that he claimed. I mean, he might have not wiped the 6 universes, which means he was that calm and levelness because of the threat that was going on. So he was stressed about it. Obviously, he was not only on the front lines, but all that made him more serious. I do believe he's still a kid, but we've seen in anime, all types of anime, that kids can still be just as calm and level-headed as adults. Think about Shikamaru. Think about Ichigo at times. Think about, I'm trying to think of some other kids, but you basically get what I'm saying. Think about Killua. They can have that mindset even though they're still a kid. So Zeno was as calm as he was because the threat of those 6 universes was still ongoing. So when Goku called him, he was confused and he wasn't as happy about it. And as soon as Goku told him, like, hey, you see that? He said it's ugly and like nasty or something. And he said, yeah, he said, I'll just wipe it and wipe it clean. He erased all of existence. Not just those universes, Universe 7. He wiped all of existence. Because if that's the case, when Trunks went back, I don't know, maybe Trunks did. I'll put it like this. For a fact, Universe 7 is gone. For a fact. That Universe 7 is gone. The reason why I want to think all the existence is gone, because I can't exactly remember if Trunks said he was going to find a new home and referring to he was going to find a new universe, or a new home as in a new timeline. Because you have to think about it. Trunks, Goku Black was taking over Universe 7. He didn't mess with the other ones, but you best believe he did mess up Universe 6. Or not Universe 6. Wherever universe he was from, I forgot the number. You best believe he was messing up that universe too before he went to 7, when he made the wish. So, from the fact that when Goku went back and it was a white slate, like basically it was no reality there, I want to think more of it as that was just completely gone. That whole reality was gone. When during the tournament of power, when they try to sense another universe to see if it has been fully wiped, they said they could not sense it, and Whis or somebody looked at the staff and it was not there. So if it was not there, there was nothing to teleport to. And as we have seen, when you look at I'm not sure if that's just for us, the viewers, to see, or that's how it really looks. But if you look at the outside view of all 12 universes, it looks like those 12 universes are like infinitely spanned orbs within a space. It wouldn't be white. It would have just been black. I mean, if they would have teleported back there, it would have been at least black if it was just that universe wiped. But if he had wiped everything into existence, and of course him himself is still there, and probably Super Dragon Balls, the Super Senwan was probably still there too as well, and probably the Namekian that made it. We don't even know if the angels survived what he did. So, keeping that in mind, I believe he wiped all of that separate timeline. So if that is the case, and it would be the most efficient way to make sure Zamasu can come back. since he was hard to be killed and he had fused with the galaxy, universe. He was even showing up in the future timeline. So I believe that he wiped all of that timeline's remaining universes into existence, and there was no reality there. That's why the feat of Goku that people like to give him of being able to move in a no time zone where there's no flowing time, because if only one universe is removed, there's still time in the grand scheme of the multiverse, just not in that general, just there's nothing in that universe section, universe 7. So if he wiped the concept of time, he wiped all the reality there, which means Trunks went to another universe. All this that I've been explaining is to say that I believe the reason why Zeno wiped everything as easily as he did, seeing that our Zeno doesn't want to just wipe stuff for no reason because he likes having fun. I believe he did that because those 6 were already causing him problems. And now he sees that in another universe, there's another problem going on, probably either similar or almost as bad as that one. And he was probably like, I'm done, and just wiped everything. We don't even know if he has the powers to create. We can assume if the angels are angels to God of destructions and Kai's are their opposite, then we can assume it like this. Grand Zeno is like the God of destruction, where the where the Super Shenron is the Kai, and Grand Priest, the strongest angel, is his angel. We can view it like that because the God of destructions, the Kais fear the God of destructions, but they know they can't be killed by them, otherwise they're going to kill them in return. But we know there's a huge power gap between Beerus and the Kais. We know that just by the fact when Supreme Kai showed up way back during the Majin Buu era, a Super Saiyan 2 revived Goku, not fully revived, undead Goku, was threatening him, which means Goku was superior to the Kai at that point. And we know Goku and Vegeta long since passed the Kai. As a matter of fact, I believe all the Z fighters, maybe Krillin on the same level as them, has basically reached the Kai's level already and surpassed him, aside from Yamcha. I want to say Yamcha a boy, but I don't know. And Heroes look like he can do something, so I don't know. But the point I'm saying is, that means even though Shenron power surpasses, he's better than a Kai. His power surpasses Zeno's in the fact that he cannot wish for anything greater than himself. But yet he was able to bring back all the universes that Zeno has wiped, which means his powers is on equal pairing of Zeno's or greater. And that means whoever made that Dragon Ball, the technical Kai, who probably made it Super Shenron so he wouldn't have to do the work anymore, is above Zeno. So we can just say those two equally are the Grand Kais. And then Zeno is the God of destruction, and Grand Peace is the angel. Now, for Zeno to wipe all of the existence, and let's just say Grand Peace and the Grand Minister and the Super Dragon Balls and that the Namekian is still alive, who cares, right? The whole universe, the whole multiverse, that reality is gone. The reason why he did that so easily, I know I'm repeating myself now, but just follow me, is because of everything was going on, he did it so easily. So he was just sitting there floating. He was just sitting there floating. He didn't think about anything else, because he can't create anything else. I guess he was just going to sit there and wait for somebody else to create something. As he was sitting there, Goku comes back. He brings him to our Zeno, and now their personalities match. They click. Because I believe Zeno is omnipotent. I believe the Grand Priest was relaying most of the information back to him, but I believe he's still omnipotent. He's just more childlike after getting rid of the threat of those 6 universes. So, but he hosted a tournament thanks to Goku, and as he was thinking about it, he probably thought about something else going on, and then that's why he had said what he said about wiping the universes, because he probably saw a bigger threat coming, and if nothing was going to help defend it, he was just going to just wipe everything. So, we don't even know if by the time we get to something like that, he might not be able to wipe anything. For what we've seen of the Super Dragon Balls can grant wishes that make people pass Goku and Vegeta in a matter of seconds, then who knows what might happen, right? But once he gets to our reality, our timeline, he sees that everything is calm and peaceful, and he starts to get his jolly. He starts to act completely different than what he was when Goku summoned him in that dimension. So with all that, the fact that he was able to summon the second one should show you as is. So the fact all that is to be said, and Goku was able to bring him back into ours, and he got playful. I believe the universes that were destroyed were because they probably were rebelling against Zeno. And with all the god destructions of that universe, no Kais, and the whole universes were rebelling, not just the individual. I believe the whole universes, all six, probably teamed up and rebelled. So I believe that combined power was threatening Zeno, and if he didn't do something, it was going to eventually overpower him. It was going to eventually get to a point where he couldn't destroy it. We see that Hakai energy doesn't instantly destroy stuff. We see that sometimes it can be negated completely. There's levels to Hakai energy. I believe the same can be said for angelic energy, the angels, and the same can be said for, and obvious for the Kais, and how the Mechans make their Dragon Balls and the rules to apply. I believe the same thing applies for Zeno. As long as he's stronger, he can wipe anything he wants. No threat. But for how Dragon Ball has been going throughout the whole series, it looks like you could be as strong, let's say, as Superman, but you won't have his durability. Superman, whether he's paying attention or not, unless it's kryptonite or extreme weakness after being in the dark with no sunlight for a long time, or some magic, Superman is indestructible 24/7 AFK. It does not turn off. It's just always active. But in Dragon Ball, someone as powerful as Goku Blue, who's probably now could have beaten Beerus at 10%, not full power Beerus. When he went back and fought Beerus on the God of Destruction, when he first came in, when he got first Super Saiyan Red, Super Saiyan God, I believe that by the time Frieza came back to life and became Golden Frieza, that Goku could have beaten that Beerus. Somebody as powerful as a god can be one-tapped almost by a puny laser that was the same technology they were using back during the Saiyan arc, which means that same laser that was probably would have done the same amount of damage to, let's say, base Goku, almost an Earthling, but just saying, obviously Saiyan boosted, can do the same amount of damage to a god, which means just because you have that much power does not make you invincible. Yes, I know technically, well, no, not even technically, I know all the biting that Goku does to these jokers seem to always be in a jokingly manner, so that doesn't apply to the fact that the damage was done to him. But seeing that it took place in the canon series, I think the same things happen in the manga as well. We can apply all that as if that actually is canon. Goku can actually bite them and it hurts. And obviously it's not enough to put anybody down, but this is why I'm saying that. Goku has bitten Beerus and Super Saiyan 3, I think. No, I don't think he laid a hand on Super Saiyan 3. I'm tripping. He's bitten Beerus. He has bitten Whis. Now think about it. He bit Whis. Now forget the part that he got past Ultra Instinct. We're gonna get past all that. We're gonna get past all that. The fact that Whis let him bite him. We're gonna get past all that. The fact that he did, because remember now, Whis wasn't dodging. So he's in a constant state of Ultra Instinct, but not to the degree as if he was serious about a fight. He can't use all of his percent or he'll get wiped. But so what I do believe is that Whis, the fact he was able to bite Whis and do that minimum damage to him, obviously shows no matter how much stronger you are to somebody, you're still vulnerable. Because you're still a body, an entity that can be harmed. If you can cause harm, you could be harmed yourself. That's how it works. Nothing that can't hurt you can be hurt. Something that can hurt you can be hurt. So Zeno himself eventually was going to get overpowered with those 6 universes and had to make the decision to wipe all 6. It's not something he just does because he wants to do it. He did so easily in Universe 6 and in the Tournament of Power because he had a theory. He was betting on the theory or his vision that, and hope, because if they weren't going to do it, they didn't need real life anyway, that whoever universe win, after seeing all the fighting and going on, understanding everybody's backstory and realizing everybody in that Tournament of Power were not evil at all, aside from probably a couple select few and Frieza, who has some redeeming qualities. Frieza has redeeming qualities. People don't want to see it, but he has some. Frieza's the type of person that has pride above Madara. Madara wouldn't be the type to be like, well, if I can't win, you won't win either. He'll keep going until he just eventually loses. He's not petty. Frieza was like that on Earth because he knew he would survive. So it's not a I can't win, you can't either. He was going to win when he blew up the Earth, and we just had to go back in time. But Frieza choosing not to help Universe 7 and causing them to lose would have been everybody losing. Frieza wasn't down for that. Now, yes, you could say he was looking after himself, but at the same time, if Frieza really doesn't want to lose to the Saiyans and had that mindset, Frieza, and we all know it, would have taken himself out along with everybody else. But Frieza's not like that. The fact that Frieza started training to get stronger automatically shows that Frieza himself is starting to enjoy the fight, even if it's for the wrong reasons. He's starting to find some type of enjoyment. Enjoyment is is a positive feeling. For him to be completely evil, he will only get positive feelings for something negative. He's getting it from a positive thing for a negative reason, but a positive thing all the same. You can look at it as this. Think about think about the way he went about fighting everybody on the Namek. And if you truly think about it, he even commands Goku for dodging his attacks. Matter of fact, think about it like this. When he shot Vegeta on the ground, he was still talking. He started smiling and stuff. He could have easily shot him again while we wanted to listen to all that. He wouldn't let him go on. That shows patience. Patience is not inherently something all villains have. Of most villains, if you think about all anime, most villains that have patience has a redeeming quality. Here's one of the best things. It's not anime, it's comic. Think about how Thanos has patience to get his stones. Think about how Reverse Flash has patience to train Barry back up to the Speed Force because he failed when going back in time to kill Barry. He got stopped. Think about patience of, Darkseid doesn't have any patience, and that's why he got beat. He didn't have any. He got impatient and got beat. He has no redeeming qualities. But Reverse Flash and Thanos do have patience, and they have some redeeming qualities. So, going back to what I was saying, Frieza has some redeeming qualities, which means everybody in that tournament of power probably has some too, if they were evil characters. Which also means Zeno didn't mind bringing all them back, and everyone just wiped them for no reason. That means the other 6 universes must have, but he had to double check by seeing, even after all that, will you still follow through your evil ways? And nobody did. Obviously, 17 brought everybody back. Boom, Zeno knows. Which means the other 6 either had their own version of the tournament of power, or I like to go with what I was thinking. They were bad universes that was planning to overthrow Zeno and failed because Zeno was like, okay, I can't do it anymore, and just wiped them. With all that being said, I do believe when 17 brought back the universes, I believe going after, depending on how they take the next couple of arcs, because of the fact that the movie that just happened with Gohan, Piccolo, Ben the Stars, and the manga went on basically simultaneously and ended. And the timeline of when each one happened is kind of wobbly. We know, obviously, when Hunter x Hunter comes back, it's going to be going on from everything we see in the manga after the point we saw in the anime. But in the case of Dragon Ball that's ongoing, Dragon Ball has been showing the movies while the anime is going on. The Broly arc happened. The Broly movie happened while, I think, was it Moro? Or right before Moro arc had started. And so it didn't get it. The Broly arc never happened in the manga. It got referenced. So we know that what happened in the movie was canon. So obviously the way it got referenced was that it happened before, that it happened before the Moro arc, sometime after the Tournament of Power. You could tell Goku tries to go Master Ultra Instinct in the movie and fails, and it gets referenced before they end up fighting Moro or as they're heading somewhere, which means it happens in between that time span. But with the new movie does not get referenced in the manga at all. And the manga events does not get referenced in the anime. So when they say Goku and Vegeta are stronger, even though the creators themselves say, they didn't flat out straight up confirm it, otherwise the fan base will be on one complete mindset that yes, it happened, blah blah blah. They did not just flat out confirm it. It was too many people saying certain things. So as of right this second, We don't really know when it takes place. We just have to pick and choose which one we want it to take place as, and whichever the majority fan base says until proven otherwise, it's probably going to be the canon thing. So, with that being in mind, it was really never mentioned. So when Piccolo and Gohan basically mentioned power scalings between Goku and Vegeta to them or the villains or the androids, all that is probably either taking place when they last saw him in the manga, which also wasn't referenced, so we don't truly know, but we're just going to say from the manga, when they were doing the moral arc or doing the tournament of power arc, 1 and 2. For Vegeta, it probably more or less referencing tournament of power arc, even though he gotten stronger. His last form at his peak that we saw on television was Evolution Blue, and that's probably what they were referring to. And then, because his base form might be stronger than that, but you know that Evolution Blue will probably be stronger than his base even to that point. So that's probably what they're referring to there. They never saw Ultra Ego. That just happened. And Master Ultra Instinct is what they were probably referring to. Now, whether they're referring to the term of Power 1 or Moral 1, we don't know. Obviously, I don't think they were present. I read the Moral arc, but it's been so long now that I can't exactly remember every fine detail. So I know Gohan and Piccolo were present in the Moral arc, but I'm not sure if they were there at the final battle. So I'm not sure if they're referring to that peak at the very end, Goku, at the very beginning when they was there, Goku, or the tournament of power. But regardless, they're nowhere where they are now as they were referring to. So they might be stronger than what they were referring to, but not stronger than now. And Frieza overpowered both of them with one punch each. So what I'm thinking is, depending on how they take the couple of stuff we saw between the movie and manga, depending on how they go about the arcs, will depend on how they lead up into, which I hope wouldn't be the end of Dragon Ball, but how they lead up to the confrontation of the 6 universes that was brought back, whether it's good or bad, which I believe is going to be bad. For some reason, they were destroyed, not on a whim, is what I truly believe. We're going to learn about that. I do believe Frieza did say everything that applied in this universe. Now, yes, the hyperbolic time chamber does take place in a different dimension, but let's think about it really quick. Unless Universe 7 is the only one with a hyperbolic chamber, that means, and if they are the only one, unless they're the only one, let's just say they're not the only one, but unless they're the only one, and the other universe has some knowledge, somebody in that universe has knowledge, because I doubt that every universe that has one does not have no knowledge at all about it. I know there's a fan-made with Goku got trapped by the gods and turned on them, and all the Saiyans reached their peak to go tap. I know in that fan-made, the other guys didn't know about it until Beerus told Chopper and Chopper told them. But that is, not only is that fan-made, they fan-made it because the other guys never brought it up. It was never brought up to them. And Chopper would be the only one to find out about it if we told it. Plus, Universe 6 and 7 are a pair, so I believe 6 has one. Now, I truly believe other universes have them as well. I doubt they don't. All universes have Dragon Balls, do they not? So all universes. Champa, now, I know you could say what Champa didn't know about Dragon Balls. Well, we can put it like this. We know Champa Universe has Dragon Balls, because the Champa Universe has the Mechans. So whether he knew about them or not, it doesn't matter whether he knows about it or not. Somebody in the universe knows about it. And since the tournament of power was broadcasted throughout the whole universe of every universe, that means everybody who knew about Hyper Time Chamber, if a wish from a Super Dragon Ball does not apply to anything in that dimension, doesn't that mean if Zeno wiped those universes, his wipe would not reach the hyperbolic time chamber? Yes, they'll be stuck in there forever and probably live out their days until they run out of food and die, but they will be safe from the wipe. And anybody knowing the tournament was coming up, like how not all of Earth knows that Goku didn't want them all, but all the universe, I think 5 or whichever one that Egyptian lady is from, her whole universe knew about the tournament before it got live streamed. Universe 7 was the only universe that did not get theirs broadcast because they did not want to worry everyone. So if that's truly the case, then that means everybody in Universe 6 who knew of the hyperbolic time chamber would have prepared long beforehand, which means they would have been able to live probably 100 years if everybody collectively worked together and went to the hyperbolic time chamber. If all we know, the dimension is big as Earth itself. So We know, I doubt that's the case. If it is the case, then wow. But I doubt this is the case. Okay, it would get rid of some of the threatening feeling. Because Dragon Ball really is an anime that has no threat. Every anime, we pretty much know who's going to win, who's not. But unlike every other anime, Dragon Ball has the least amount of permanent deaths in the anime, which out of every anime I can think of. Which means it has no fear factor of a real defeat before victory. Naruto, you knew Naruto and Sasuke weren't going to die. Now they might die now, but they weren't going to die when it was their show. But at the same time, so many people that people thought wouldn't die, died. Jiraiya, Itachi, Orochimaru, everybody thought for a second was actually gone until he came back. Yamato, Madara is actually gone, even though he's an antagonist. Everybody thought Might Guy was gonna die. That's how bad it was. You thought Might Guy would die. You didn't know. Nobody knew Naruto was gonna bring him back. Gaara had a fear of dying, though we all thought he could come back. We all thought he would, but at the same time, we all thought he might not. Grand Chill did die. So what I'm saying is, Dragon Ball has no fear factor of permanent death. Especially with Super Dragon Balls now. They might be able to revive. I know the regular Dragon Balls cannot bring somebody back that's already died and been brought back. Super Dragon Balls might just do it, and we can. So, what I believe is that is not the case. Because any real fan like me, not even real fans, let me not put it there, any fan that has the knowledge of all that, like I do, would automatically know, okay, it's nothing to worry about. Obviously, we were going to win anyway, so the other universe had nothing to worry about also. So, with all that being thought of, I believe the hyperbolic time chambers does not save people from something like that, which means it would not also save them from a Super Dragon Ball Wish, which implies Frieza was in a hyperbolic time chamber on a planet he conquered, probably in another universe. Frieza race can breathe out of space, and there's a border between universes that only Whis can. I think gods can too, God Destructions can too, and maybe Kai's. But I know the angels definitely can, obviously Zeno, can travel to. Now, every time we travel to, it's never an instant transmission type travel. It's always in that long run, which means, hypothetically, on a real basis, if he's running that fast, we've seen how when Barry travel, everything that shows time travel or different dimensions to go through a portal. That means they're going to the edge. It's like a door. I believe when Whis going that far, like that, travel to another universe, Whis is really just heading to the edge of the universe to enter the other universe. And once there, he could teleport to anywhere in that universe. Which means, I believe, because think about how he always shows up to another person in another universe, but think about how he travels to get there first. It's almost like he gets there, once he's in range, he could teleport. Goku can't teleport between universes, but once he's in a universe, he can teleport anywhere he wants. So I believe, as long as he sends a key, I believe Frieza probably traveled to the border of the universe. Obviously, everybody in Dragon Ball, our main cast, Sea Fighters and Frieza, are extremely fast. Obviously, Whis is faster, so it would take longer to get there. But for all we know, Frieza was probably flying off to another universe. Obviously, he wasn't with his boys, and then he finally came back and got his Ginyu Force. But his Frieza Force. But I believe the remnants of Frieza Force he left without them. In the Broly movie, he left without them. So I don't believe he went back to him. I believe Frieza was heading to another universe, or maybe he did. But I'm just gonna say Frieza was heading to another universe or heading somewhere far, far away. I don't believe he actually ran out of the universe. I believe he could, but it would take a long time. For everything to match up in the timeline that we see, I believe Frieza was heading to another universe or somewhere to get in contact with another universe. When he was doing so, he got intercepted by somebody from one of the 6 universes that was wiped and came back, which means Frieza did a bargain deal with them, pretty much working with them. We know that's not going to last. Frieza cares for himself more than anybody else. And Frieza started working for them under their pretext that he was actually working for them, or maybe it's a partnership. And he conquered the planet wherever he's from, because there's probably still some universes, some people and the planets in their 6 universes that does not agree with what they're doing. But, because it's a minority, they're getting whooped, and they be trying to conquer as many people as they can. And Frieza probably conquered the planet over there, or he's working against them and with them at the same time. Either way, he conquered the planet that had a hyperbolic time chamber. Frieza did not know of a hyperbolic time chamber before, for at least not that I know of. I don't believe Goku and them ever brought it up to him. So unless they saw it when he was fighting Boo, unless they were able to view all that, but I believe they were only able to view all that because Big Red Man allowed him to. Since if Boo had won that fight, it would have been over for everybody. So, and the fact that Boo can travel, he probably did fly to another universe. Let's think about it. Before Dragon Ball, Boo was able to travel to the afterlife, which is just as far from Earth, from outside the universe, just as far relatively to as far as probably universe 76 is. I believe Frieza did fly to another universe now. So the point I'm saying is he learned of hyperbolic time chamber, learned how it worked, and whether it got destroyed in the inside or not, he could probably break out. So since I believe that Frieza was able to break out even if he got trapped in there, just like Goku and them, okay, it could have been a situation of he didn't agree with them and they tried to trap him in the hyperbolic time chamber. He trained, got out, and realized it's been 10 years, or he went in there knowing and got 10 years. And the first thing I said, the fact is, I believe Frieza was in another universe. That sets up, and he left after getting some new henchmen. He left. He didn't kill Goku and Vegeta, which means he's probably relying on them to take out them to help his own means. And not even just that, he likes training to overcome them. Because if Frieza was still Frieza, he would have killed him on the spot. Would have been no other purpose to. So I believe that the next arc is going to be setting up, or will be, about the 6 universes. I believe we'll be dealing with Frieza, and then setting up for the end game of it, like how Tournament Power was. With it ending with either something dealing with them beating the 6 universes or something on them lines. And who knows, it might continue after that with something even colder. It might go into the Dragon Ball Heroes theme of it all. But I truly believe that's what we're heading into in Dragon Ball Super. That's why I truly believe our future is looking like for Dragon Ball. Alright. We're gonna talk about it straight, right? We're gonna talk about it straight. Black Frieza. Now, Black Frieza is that guy to me, The way his form is, people complain about how his form, yes, I weather from his form to get more spiky, add more stuff to it. But to keep it classic and simple, first of all, it helps the animators. And secondly, it helps with the staple of Goku, or the Saiyans really, and Frieza. The staple of Dragon Ball is they're not heavily reliant on all these details. They who they are, you know what I'm saying? Small changes and transformations. Nothing over extravagant, not something over dramatic or something actually large. So that's just how it is. Black Frieza coming up with his 10-year training that took 10 days is something of a personal growth for him, really, because the fact that he was even training for that long. Remember now, Frieza came into the show basically saying he was good from the jump. Apparently the Frost race is apparently stronger than the Mechans and Saiyans while in training. Now, he trained after he lost it in the first time. Well, he came out with mecha upgrades. Then he trained the whole time he was in hell. No, when he came out of hell. Then he mentally trained when he went back. So, even striving to catch up with Goku and them and pass him. Now, yes, I believe he got some ulterior motives. Not just for letting them live. I don't think he just let them live because he turned completely good. I would like if he became almost like an anti-villain. Sort of like how technically Beerus is. Beerus destroys. Beerus is a destroyer god. So to the outside world, to everybody that's not in Universe 7 that knows him, like Goku and the Z fighters, they view him as a bad person. But it's something he has to do. Controlled evil, right? It's yin and yang, baby. You gotta have it. Sadly, but you gotta have it. So for him to be something like that by the end of the series would be kind of clean, because by his standards, from what we see of Frieza, homie hates Goku. I believe that, but he enjoys him at the same time. It's kind of how Vegeta viewed him before he went completely good. Let's be honest. One of the things that comes to my mind when I think about it, Frieza came back for the tournament when he came back and Goku's grandmother brought him back, the witch, I just call his grandmother, that's what he called him anyway. When she came back and she brought him, homie stretched a little bit. He walked up to Goku, punched him in the stomach, a little something slight. And then Goku punched it back, you know what I'm saying? But it's like a rivalship that's a little bit more heated than Goku and Vegeta's, but it's nice all the same. They both enjoy that crap. They know they do. When Gogeta held on to Frieza, when Frieza, when she brought, I said she, I'm used to that habit years ago. I don't know why it's sitting there. The name, right? When Frieza brought Broly, and Frieza went up for this fight. First of all, Frieza knew he couldn't beat Goku in there right there. That, or he didn't want to. But I believe he knew he couldn't fight them right now after seeing Ultra Instinct, all that stuff. He said, man, all right, Broly came back. I wasn't going to come back, but if you're going to come back, let me go ahead and pay them a visit. I just want to, almost like I was not going to rematch you, but now I got this new character. I'm going to go ahead and rematch you real quick to see how it is. Type beat. Homie pulled up. He literally pulled up, you know what I'm saying, all slightly. They said, what's up? Basically talking. He said, I got me a new homie. He pulled the boy out the ship. He literally asked the father, like, you think he can scrap down with him? He's sitting there watching, because he really want to take him out. It's apparent that in the Dragon Ball universe, that if you're not aware of a situation that's going to happen to you, your defense is completely trash, and you get one-tapped. So that's why Simple Lazy going to take somebody out. Mental is a lot in Dragon Ball, whether people realize it or not. So he could have easily tapped them fools and left. Homie, he realized, like, oh shoot, homie getting his tail clapped. He getting it clapped. He said, all right. He thought back when Goku made him go super. Daddy over there pressed. He said, well, man, I got one thing I could try. Homie popped his daddy. Now, yes, that was evil all day, all right? But come on. From a show standpoint, Dad had no emotional ties to be there, okay? And yes, that daddy was not as holy as the one we saw in the Uncanny Broly movies. He wasn't as holy. We cannot lie. He was not. He was an okay father. Not a good one at all, but he was not terribly a bad one. He was okay. Everything he did was understandable to a degree. He was no daggone Sasuke's father, okay? Sasuke's father did Itachi and Sasuke's holy, and his intentions weren't completely evil either, but he hold them brothers, especially Itachi. But his hold led to everything that happened with Swishri. I can't pronounce everything good right now because my daggone jaw had the surgery. But Swishri, dang. I can't do it, but you know who I'm talking about in Itachi, okay? So Fugaku hold them, and his Broly dad hold them, but it wasn't that degree. So when Frieza killed him, yeah, it was a bad thing, but we didn't view it as such. He hold him, man. He did. Popped him right down on his knees. Up against the rock. Done. He acting his heart out. Grammy Award going to him. No, Oscar Award going to him. 1 and 2. I'm not thinking properly right now. And he was scrapping out. After Goku and Vegeta did all that, he used to look like, oh, shoot, that worked better than I thought. They pulled up to him and said, Frieza, you're going to have to hold this real quick. Frieza sitting there holding it for him. You know what I'm saying? Frieza boxing with him. Got a small Zenkai boost for it. He's sitting there boxing with homie. As soon as they come back, apparently homie went so crazy, he trying to fight Whis for some reason. And the point I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to go off book from what I was originally talking about, but the point I'm trying to say is, after the whole fight, Frieza was going to shoot them heading off, Broly and them heading off, and then Goku, not Broly and them, the girl and them heading off, and Goku and Vegeta, as Gogeta, held homie hand. Homie, he's an understandable guy. Homie said, all right, I can't beat you. He put his hand down, just flew off. He said, all right, I'll see you again. I'll see you again. Homie pulled off. No hatred. Gogeta can't help but to smile, even though he wasn't smiling directly at him still. Like, it was all good. It was all good. And remember now, even Vegeta himself. Now, Vegeta hates Frieza more than Goku does because Vegeta actually cared about his race. Goku didn't because he didn't know him. So, Vegeta hates him more than Goku does. Way more. Matter of fact, he even said it that he wants to get stronger to beat him because Goku hold and brought him back, even though it was actually Whis that brought him back. because Goku didn't use the balls. As a matter of fact, that leads me to another point. Goku had made that promise. Frieza knew. Remember, Frieza even said, he said, that same mentality you have that I hate so much, I gotta be thankful for it. Because you got it, he can't hold that brother. He's honest to a fault. And homie knew it. Homie betted everything on him. He said, you know what, man, I might hate you, but at the end of the day, well, I'll ask you all as a fan, as a fandom. And you think anybody in the world that you dislike a lot or hate, and then somebody in the world you really like or trust, but let's say, when I say like or trust, like a friend, but he or she not the closest friend, right? But you know they wouldn't do you dirty, but how reliable are they? Would you rather have that one dude or that one person you really hate or dislike that you know at the end of the day, you know them to a fault? Everything about them, you know it. So you know they ain't gonna just go away from it. Like, you know this person is a straight liar? Well, you know 100%. You know this person, he not for you and he 100% hate you or dislike you, but you know he an honest person to a fault. He just doesn't like you. And then you have a friend that you know he's wishing-washy sometimes. He's for you. He's your friend all day, every day. But you know he's not reliable at all. He or she not reliable. Which one in a do or die situation you gonna go to? Let's all be honest. We're gonna go to that enemy. Because at the end of the day, we know them. So we know what to expect. If you going to them, you already know what to expect. So Frieza like, Goku already like, I know Frieza ain't gonna do anything to hold himself. So in return, that's not gonna hold me. And Frieza like, well, I gotta be honest, this boy Goku ain't gonna hold me, dog. I know he ain't gonna hold me. I hate him. And that's another reason I hate him. But I love it at the same time. They over there fighting tag teaming. When they fought, the tag team was just as good when Goku and Vegeta fight tag team. Matter of fact, you can call Goku, if Goku and if Vegeta actually were cool with Frieza too, that's Team 7, baby. Matter of fact, when I say Team 7, I'm calling Broly in there too. Like, you know how basically it's Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, and then Kakashi, Team 7. Man, nah, get me Broly, Vegeta, and Goku and Frieza. Man, Team 7, baby. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Nothing. If them jokers work together, and I'm just saying right now, Goku and Vegeta and Frieza, really Goku and Frieza. Goku and Vegeta, understandable. We seen them progress. We love seeing them work together. You gotta love it. But Goku and Frieza, you yin and yang. So that's why I wouldn't ever want Frieza completely good. But at the same time, I just got done seeing a fan-made Dragon Ball anime. Well, it's Mecha Frieza. So it's taking time like between when Trunks come back, but a little different. Goku's already dead, and Yamcha with him. It's clean as a mug. I'll put the link in below. Nah. I'll just throw it up here for you to see. You can go search it up if you want to see it. And it's clean as a mug. And that Frieza is a good guy, but still doing some shady crap, but not for the bad reasons. And that's the type of Frieza I'm hoping, like, if Frieza became good, would be like. Because I still want that yin and yang aspect of Goku and Frieza. I wouldn't want to be, because Goku and Vegeta are yin and yang personality-wise, but they both fight for the same reasons, both have the same goals in terms of getting stronger. They're both good guys, they're both Saiyans. But Frieza and Goku are the opposite and the spectrum. Even if Frieza became good, the way he viewed life will always be different from Goku's. And that's especially apparent from the fact of their past history. Everybody else gonna view them. Think about Android 17. You know, Krillin was still pretty stressed walking up to that homie. Because you can't just forget the past, can't erase it. That's why I love Cell so much. He would have been a perfect dude to turn good because he had everybody's DNA. Had everybody's personality trait. And people say that hold him in the end, which it kind of did. But at the same time, the creators really wanted him to die. Because if they knew they were going to play him for Super one day, they couldn't have that boy still alive. Because there ain't no way. He would be stronger than Goku. He can go Super Saiyan God, Golden Frieza, Black Frieza, Orange Piccolo. Like, it's too much to do with that, brother. He had to go at the same time. That's why they didn't let him go perfect in the movie. They couldn't let him go perfect in the movie. Ain't no way on Earth Gohan would be. Gohan might have been more powerful because he was semi-perfect. And let's say he more powerful than full perfect Cell. But guess what? Perfect Cell will have his brain. That one didn't. You could be the most powerful dude on the earth, but if you're not hitting me, you're not hitting me. And that's exactly what happened. That Max Cell was not doing what he had to do. If he was perfect, ain't no way on earth Gohan Beast would have beaten him. I'm sorry. That's just my take on it. Because his it points would have been out the world. Cell was the strongest, the smartest character in the show before he died. You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back. he was the smartest fighter out of all the fighters, counting Frieza and them. You know what I'm saying? Before he died, he had everybody 8 points. So he wasn't just straight in here. He had Goku's fight smarts and everybody else. Now his cockiness and all that stuff hold the brother, but at the same time, IQ was there. IQ was there. He told Goku when he gave him that sensu, he said, you know what you're doing? He said, you sure about this? Something like that. He didn't just take the sensu off jump, and if he did, he looked at it for a couple seconds. But the point I'm saying is, Frieza's just that guy. You got to let see them work together. And having Goku turn Super Saiyan with Frieza in his final form, as always, which is his base. What was I saying? Having Frieza in his final form, I know, bro, even Frieza being in his final form, and Goku going Super Saiyan is an homage to when they fought back on Namek. And just seeing how Frieza interacted with Goku and Vegeta when he came back in black, he took them jokers out, did what he had to do and help. And then they were asking him questions. They had like a small combo for a couple seconds. And Frieza was explaining what happened, how the wish didn't work, this and that. And Frieza went black. They already knew they were about to get jumped. Frieza went up to one tap, looked at them jokers, and he just let them jokers be. Homie smiled and went up, put a shotty in the brother and dipped. He didn't even want to kill them, bro. And there's a lot of reasons what was going on. Other universes that play, which I do believe that, and I'll talk about that in a sec. Other universes that play, trying to beat the Army King, yes, this and that. At the same time, Goku and Vegeta, the only Joker striving is homie to be stronger. Beerus is striving. Beerus Army King are goals he wants to achieve. Well, if he can achieve it while getting stronger, he will. It's only Goku and Vegeta that strives him, especially Goku, that strives him to get stronger. And he knows that at the end of the day, he sees the potential in Goku. He sees in everybody. Yeah, it's good foresight that way. But he can see potential in Goku. He knows if he takes a day off, Goku's getting up. That's just how it is. And yes, people can say he cheated by going to that time capsule. Homie did what he had to do. I mean, Goku and Vegeta, everybody use that the time room, bro. I don't even know the real name of it. Everybody used that time room to train. All he did was trying to use what everybody else was using. Frieza would just be an awesome person if he was semi-good. And even if he's not and stay a villain. Now, homie Aizen and Madara, team up with your boy Frieza. We already know he left the races trio. You know, like Tobirama and Zoro got bounties on his head. And then Zoro better watch out. Because yeah, Tobirama might have liked Itachi, but and Sisri grandfather, but we gotta be honest real quick. I saw a skit. Zoro, don't you rocking with Usopp? And let's not act like you don't got a monkey as your captain. Monkey D. Luffy, you know what I'm saying? Some guy Nika, you know what I'm saying? Man, that was a funny skit, bro. But either way, Frieza's up there as one of those villains. He really is. And even though me personally, I like Cell as a villain better than Frieza, because Cell was just everything Frieza was plus everybody else. Frieza is a better villain than Cell. And both of them would be good as heroes. But only Frieza would be good perfectly as a semi-hero or semi-villain on the apparent reasons that Frieza gotta stay Frieza. Frieza was so Frieza that another Frieza from Universe 6 showed up. Frieza wasn't even rocking with him. Could only be one. Frieza literally said to him, "You are you, but I am him." Like, he showed homie the same way. That's why I loved it so much. Goku Vegeta showed everybody how to get Super Saiyan crack. He showed homie how to get buff. And then hold him. Hold him, bro. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Frieza really is awesome. And Black Frieza is something that was expected and awesome. And yes, they could have done a Black Frieza better by giving him a different form with extra spikes and transformation type styles. But at the end of the day, Frieza, and that simple, slick aspect of him, it just cleans him up. Cause it doesn't take away from what Frieza is. Frieza stays him. Frieza is calm, cool, and manipulative. That's his perfect form. That's why he stays in it all the time now. It's his strongest. He didn't even used to do that. He only came back in Resurrection Elf, standing in his baby form, was because he was dead. So when he came back, he was restarted. But as soon as he got back, he went straight to the jump. He didn't stay in that weak form, bro. There was no point. And that's why I need to see Cooler come in there. Because they bring Cooler in here, and Cooler become worse than Frieza and betrays him, that would be a perfect time for Frieza to work with Goku for a whole arc. And that would just be clean. That's why I'm hoping a whole other universe get involved and stuff like that. The ones that Android 17 revived. I'm going to get into that. Let me just finish this movie real quick. Because the boy jaw burning from all this talking. Which I probably shouldn't have been doing, but I couldn't help it. I had to get this off my chest and off my mind. And I just love it so much. I'm not even home right now. But I said, well, let me go ahead. Also, I gotta say something too. This Yakuza game, Yakuza 0 is my favorite, and Like a Dragon second. I already told a friend that. I'm just telling everybody else that, because this game busting. Nah, this game busting. I played it before. This is my first time playing it, but it's been so long. And playing it again, it's like, wow, man, it's busting. So yeah, that was that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below when you're done on the things. Again, I talked longer than I thought I would, but you know, I'll make sure to continue talking on and have more clips for the next video, more clips, more gameplay. And check out my book on Amazon.com, The Cross Book 1 by Dominic Woodard. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.